this video, I'm going to show you how I add Tylose powder to my fondant to create a quick version of gum paste. Like I've said before, instead of using gum paste for my figurines and my different pieces, I use fondant and I add Tylose powder to it. Now this isn't the original container. I add this to a smaller container so I don't have to carry around the big jar that it comes in. And the price on this is usually about $3.50 and you get a really good sized jar. But the reason I do this is because when I have used the commercial gum paste that's readily available on the market, what happens is I end up with all kinds of cracks and creases and things in my pieces that no matter what I try, I cannot get them out. So what I've started doing is taking fondant and adding the Tylose powder with it. And you always want to add a little bit of shortening in that as well. And the reason for that is because the Tylose seems to dry it out a bit, but with just a little bit, it gives it the perfect mixture. So what I'll do, this was a ball that was about 2 inches. So what I normally do is I take a ball of fondant, and this is how I know what I'm doing. I get my ball together, and then I usually just measure it with a tape measure. And this is almost 2 inches. So I measure from side to side, and that's how I come up with my measurements when I'm saying 2 inches or 1 inch ball. So this is the same thing, and I flatten it out, of course, and then I take my shortening, and I get a little bit on my finger and rub it all over the top surface here, like so. Then I just pinch Tylose out of the jar and sprinkle it on. And I usually do a couple pinches on here. This one I'm going to do a little bit more. Now you don't want too much because what happens is your paste will dry out. And then you want to knead this in very, very well so that it gets mixed throughout. And what happens if you put too much, it dries out and you'll be more prone to cracking. However, if you notice you did put too much in your paste, that's okay. Add some more shortening. Get some more on your finger and just add that right in to your paste. And I have found that this is a perfect mixture to create my figurines and things. Now I also use the Wilton fondant. This is actually satin ice that I do this with. I also use the Wilton fondant, and a lot of times that's pretty strong and durable on its own, so I don't really need to add much Tylose to that, if any at all. And I do use that at times on my figurines and things. It just depends on what I have on hand and what I'm creating. But overall, I use the satin ice, add the Tylose to it, and as you'll see, it turns out beautifully. And I mean, if I'm rolling a ball, which I'll show you guys here, and I like to get it started just rolling side to side here. And take that and roll that way, and then end to end this way. And this starts working out all the crevices and cracks that get in your paste. And work it all around in the palms of your hands. And the heat in your hands really helps to smooth things out as well. Now if you find that you still have a lot of cracks in your paste, then just add some more shortening at this point. And as you can see, just doing this, look how nice that's turning out. Now I have a few here on this side, and if I just keep working this, now this is where I'll cup my hand and cup over top, and just keep working this. And it seems to get all those cracks out. Now if I were creating a body or let's say a head with this, then I would find the best part, which side looks the best if you can't get all the cracks out, which I have a few that are still there, and that's okay. Because what I would do is use this side here for my face, or if this were going to be a body, let's say I'm creating a body out of this, and We'll just do this real quick just to give you an example. Let's say this is going to be my body. So I would use that as the front. And as you see, the back has the crack. And that's okay. Because what's going to happen, you're going to dress this body part anyway. So you really don't have to worry about that. Now I will tell you with the gum paste, the best thing that I use the commercially prepared gum paste for is my flowers. And the reason that works so well, and I believe that really that's the best thing that it's made for, is for rolling out. When you can roll some paste out, you don't have to worry about the cracks, the crevices, and all the lines and things. So using the gum paste for just sugar flowers and that sort of thing is perfect. But using it on, figurines and certain objects, even bows sometimes, can pose a problem. So that's why I stick with the plain old fondant with the Tylose powder, and it ends up being a very, very good mixture for me. And it takes a little bit of time till you learn exactly how much Tylose you need with your fondant. And a lot of that will depend as well on the conditions in your area. If you have a lot of humidity, then you may want to use just a little bit more Tylose powder. If it's very dry, then I would use less Tylose powder, because this is made also to help with the humidity issues. Excuse me. So I just wanted to run down the basics with you on what I do to get my paste all set up with Tylose powder and how much I use when I'm creating a piece. Now I will show you one more time on this one exactly what I do. Like I said, just roll that out. Put your shortening over top, just a small, thin layer. And the reason for that is it helps the Tylose powder to stick better. And then just 2 little pinches and roll it up and knead it. Now I do not do this until I am ready to create a piece, because I don't like my paste sitting with the Tylose already added to it. So I usually do not do this step until I am sitting down prepared to create my cake topper or whatever it is that I might be making. So hopefully that gave you some ideas and some little techniques, little inside techniques that you just can't find the answers to out there everywhere. And until the next time, this is Donna.